Welcome to this channel. This channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. Today, I'd like to share with you a mini version of totality view of the anti-Qing Wing Chun or the 1850 Wing Chun. So you can experience what is it, you can have a taste of what is it, and so you be able to develop it and benefit from it, be it in daily life or if you want to train it as a fighting art. Now, let me share with you. Today's Chinese Kung Fu, be it in martial art, in Qigong, have already, uh, in majority, get into a, a trap. A trap which is living in a different world. It is no longer in the reality. It is not what the ancient Chinese present, but it is in this world, this delusional world, which is supported by movies, stories, philosophies, but it never real. Okay? The truth of the Chinese culture is that it is a very pragmatic culture. It is never like today. Everything is concept, everything is philosophy, everything is free for everybody to express whatever they want. And also everything is, it never be tangible. Like, for example, in today's world, you talk about Tai Chi, how many type of Tai Chi there? You talk about Wing Chun, how many type of Wing Chun there? Everybody have their say. You talk about Qigong, how many type you can find? Well, all this is problem. In a reality, it never be able to be used in a real life. That's not what the ancient Chinese present. So today I want to share with you what exactly is the anti-Qing Wing Chun 1850. The minimum, the basic, so you know what is going on. Now, we like it or not, Wing Chun 1850 or the anti-Qing Wing Chun or the Wing Chun belong to the Hong Mun or the Wing Chun belong to, like in America, the Chinese Freemason Society. So it is a fighting art. Fighting art meaning you need to be able to fight. Fighting art is not about philosophy, Tao, all sort of Zen. Fighting art is a fighting art. It's like BJJ, it's like Kyokushin, it's like Thai boxing, it's like Western boxing. Okay? So in the ancient, the easiest way we can describe it, to present it, is that it has two parts. When you talk about fighting art, martial arts, it always have two parts. This is the very basic minimum. One part is the techniques, or in Cantonese is said Sao Phạt. Sao Phạt must not be translated as hand techniques. Sao is hand, Phạt techniques. No, techniques meaning the entire momentum technique. It's not you do your tan bong fuk, those kind of stuff, or your this techniques hand versus that techniques. No. The other part is San Gong. San Gong is body Kung Fu, or in today's word, the body's conditioning. So you always have the Sulfat, which is the fighting momentum handling, and the San Gong. And in every style, their Sulfat will have their uniqueness. It cannot be like today. Oh, Wing Chun is a concept art, and then it's up for everybody to define what it is. No, it's no such thing in the ancient Chinese to do those whatever people preach today. So now let's talk about the Sulfat, the uniqueness or the specialty of Wing Chun 1850, the anti-Qing, and then the San Gong, the body condition or the body conditioning which must have to support that fighting techniques or the fighting momentum handling. Okay? Now, let's talk about the techniques. It's martial art. It is a fighting art. So, Wing Chun is say that it is a close range fighting art or sticking body short strike art. So the uniqueness is Wing Chun will fight in this range where the leg attack his leg, the body pressurize him, these two hands attacking him, which is including your elbow. That is the forearm sticking body short strike type of art. That is the anti-Qing Wing Chun. Now, due to it is a fighting art which is specialized in this range, using the leg, using the body, using the arm, one need to be able to get from our range to inside that range. So how to get from this outside range to inside this range is called shoot in. You shoot in. Now, when you shoot in, the characteristic is concessions without concessions. Meaning, if he attack me, I must not go blocking him or try to bulldoze him. I am going to get in, slide in with concession without concessions. Instead of I bang into like this, or I bang in, try to see who is stronger, faster. Okay? It's concessions without concessions. That's why it's called female art. Row, soft is the definitions of row is concessions without concessions. So you need to shoot in here, and that means your body has to travel with that speed. That means you have to be able to handle your momentum, your recycling momentum. Okay? So when you get into this area or this domain or your killing field, you know that your position, your body positions will be in the position which is you shut his offensive down, meaning the side, one side of your body is actually limiting the degree of freedom of one of his arm, and while this arm here is make this arm defensive, okay, become defensive. So you attack him, okay, and you can use your tan bong fok with your legs and your body. You attack him, and also it is not just striking. That is throw, and there is other techniques. For example, this is make him fall, trip him fall. Okay? So The idea is you get in, you attack, continue with your body, your leg, your body, your hand, everything, and then you be able to throw him as you like. So you can look at it, it's like today's standing grappling, but it's not standing grappling. It's a standing striking and just drop you. Okay? So that is the very basic, very minimum of the characteristic of Wing Chun 1850. So if you get somebody in the Wing Chun 1850 to do sparring, that's what it's going to do to you, and they have to train to be proficient in whatever I just tell you just now. Okay? Now, so that is the fighting, the style fight, the techniques of fighting. It's well defined. Now, the techniques of this fighting need to be supported by the body conditioning. So there are three types of body conditioning to support that fighting. Now, let me share with you here. Today, I have already mapped these three types of body conditioning training into sports science. Why? The first thing, disregard of it is Chinese, it is ancient Indian, it is today's martial art, today's fitness. It all has to follow cause and effect. As in today's language, it has to be scientific. It cannot be, I am the fifth generation from 1850. Whatever I say is the truth of universe. Forget about it. It is cause and effect. It is scientific. It is measurable, verifiable objectively. So everybody be able to develop it. As what I tell you just now, philosophy, concept, all these are nonsense when you have things which is you cannot develop, you cannot use it in the daily life. The ancient Chinese is not going for that. Okay? Thus, the ancient Chinese, even though they don't talk about scientific because they don't have the term scientific, but there's a term called cause and effect. Okay? So I map it into this today's sports science, so you have to verify, hey, if you do this, will you get this result? If one person can do this, get this result, is that true that 100 people who do the same thing will get the same result? It's like people go run marathon. They train scientifically. Okay? The second thing is, I map it into this sports science today, which is using this all this fitness tracking, as in my book, Decoding Wing Chun. You can see all type of gadget, which is measuring, verifying the result. Have also a meaning of benchmarking. We are using the same equipment like those in Olympic, like those in the UFC. So we can benchmark. Instead of, like today, everybody talk about Fajing. Well, do you know how many pounds a strike by, say, the lady warrior Zhang Weili in UFC? Do you know how much is the punch? Instead of keeping daydreaming, chi, a short power. I mean, what are you talking about? So we need this scientific thing to benchmark. So stop talking about internal chi, this power, that power. When you compare pound by pound, can you handle Zhang Weili's strike? If you cannot handle, that means you cannot stand up to the challenge of the rival. So it has to be like that. The first, know the cause and effect, so everybody got it. The second is we have to have a benchmark, so we be able to stand tall facing the rival. Okay? We need to have the standard. It's no nonsense stuff like the past 100 years. If you look at it, since Bruce Lee's time, Bruce Lee is calling all this thing as land swimming. 60 years past, the same land swimming, but with what? With more chi, philosophy. If you go read back what Bruce Lee said 60 years ago on Wing Chun, and today what you see is more of those mind power, chi power, this, where Bruce Lee 60 years already calling it what? Land swimming. You're just keeping adding more BS inside there. That's not Chinese, sorry. Those are called what? Commercialized, try to sell something which is obsolete. Didn't Bruce Lee say that this is land swimming? Okay, so this is whatever everybody need to know. Why wasting our own life? I don't matter. Why? I am 65 this year. I retired. I'm a used person. But you guys out there, you shouldn't waste your life. All this training has to benefit you. You might not fighting every day. If you are not a policeman or law enforcement or in military, but you need to use what you train every day to help you live a better life. Healthcare is very expensive today. So you need to take care of your health and then take care of your family. Poor come from an unhealthy health. And of course, if you want to go fight like in the UFC or something, you need to know your limitation. Not every human born equal. Our physical have a limitation. Different people have different problems. So those who is strong can go fight in the UFC. Even 460 years ago, when Qi Guang recruit his army, he is not using the city people. He's using the miner, the guy who worked on mine, big muscle. He used those very strong people to train and become army. His army. That's why he win. Okay? It's not that everybody just learn this philosophy or do this sets, then you become some kinds of a warrior. Stop that nonsense. Okay? Now, so the body conditioning, there are three types. Disregard of whatever Chinese system, everything can need to boil down into these three types. And you must train these three types if you are into fighting art. Or else you are not into fighting art. Or you are partial here, partial there, you might cause damage to your body. Okay? So, the first type of training is called recovery. So I say recovery. Or in Chinese term, nurture your qi or nurture your energy. If I say this here and I show you this 站桩, what the heck you know anyway? So today we don't want to do that. It's very simple. Nurture qi or recovery is the state, the physiological state, like when you are in deep sleep. like you are in deep sleep. You know that when you go have a deep sleep, your blood pressure regulate and your body recover. That is what the state. When you get into this first type of training, commonly we do it in standing, like in the beginning of 1850 Shiu Lim Tao. You do it in standing, some call it standing meditation or whatever heck. It doesn't matter. What matters is you be able to stand and you be able to sleep there, like in the street when you have in a deep sleep. Okay? And at that time, your breathing is naturally go very deep and you feel like your entire body is breathing. Now, of course, is that easy to get here? Like this? Let me share it with you. Let me show you. This is what it is. Get into the state. If you rewind it, you can see my body is swaying, my stomach is expanding, contracting. Is that easy to get this here? Of course not. It is years. You're talking about at least 500 or 600 hours of training to get here. However, you can experience that like what? You're laying down, like you are deep sleep. Everybody know how to sleep, right? So when you deep sleep, when you have that sleep really deeply, your body is like levitate. There's whatever state is there. Now, if you cannot get to that state in standing, do it in laying down. I mean, who say it's wrong? Do it in the laying down. So now you know that is recovery. It is very important for one to be able to recover because when your body is exhausted or if you want to charge your body for the energy, you need to get to this recovery state. It is exactly similar to when you need to have deep sleep. If you don't have deep sleep at night, you know you get in problem with your health. When you're really tired or you're injured after you take medicines, you need this deep sleep to let the body do its job to recover. That is what it is, the state. Stop talking about philosophy, Zen, emptiness, bullshit. Okay? Get into that state. Of course, there's a lot of things there, mini details. Like even though I just stand there, my body sway, you can just turn over there and then scrutinize the entire thing, see how I move. That's what it is. And like sleep, no every sleep is the same. You are human, you know what is a sleep. That's what exactly it is. Okay? So there's the first thing, which is the recovery training, the recovery body conditioning. Today we can use science to see whether we can get to that state or not. The first signature is your heart rate is going to drop to your resting heart rate. The second signature is after you doing this training, get into this state of recovery or nurture chi, your heart rate variability will rise up. Okay? So scientifically, we know whether you have that training or not. You have that kung fu or not. Scientifically can prove that or verify that. Now, that is the first thing. Recovery. Okay? Or nurture your energy. Or let your body repair itself. Or let your body charge itself. Especially if we are sick or we are too tired, over exhausting, we need to get into this state. The second state is the state of fitness. Fitness. Everybody can experience it. The state of fitness, the second type, the state of fitness, is like when we do a slow walking, and we do the stretching, full body stretching. That is the second type of training. That is how one, in ancient term, one circulates one's chi or one's energy or blood circulations, promote the circulations. Okay? Now, so what is this related to the recovery? This is where it related. If you are overexhausted, can you go walking? Can you do the stretching? Of course you can. You're too tired to do that. So, for fitness training, you need to have that recovery, enter into the recovery state. In today's very simple language, you need to have some deep sleep for a few days and you charge your body before you go walking, for fitness, for stretching, for train your muscling, those kind of things. Now, this second type of training is the training in terms of heart rate under 70% of your maximum heart rate, or what we call the zone 2 training today in scientifically. Meaning it's do good for your mitochondrial, it also helping your heart muscle and many different things. Scientifically it's proven. However, you need that recovery. Same thing as today. If you don't sleep for a few days, you better go sleep good, eat good before you go training. Okay? Or else you are not going to get result, but you over drain your body. So this is the level 2, or the second type of training of the 3 type of body conditioning. In this type of conditioning, in today we have a term called aerobic endurance. You want to build as much aerobic endurance as possible because that is for your health. You look like the Olympic player, or they develop their aerobic endurance. The person who don't know this, going jumping around and do all sorts of stuff, usually will end up with what we call aerobic deficiency syndrome. And you're going to screw up your body if you continue to do those kind of stuff. Okay, second type. Now, the first and the second type is to make sure that your body is healthy and your body have the potential for you to grow further, to strengthen it. So this is like the soil, like the base. If you don't have that, you know it is crazy. It is just nonsense if you don't train this way. Now, the third type. So the first type is the recovery or nurture qi. You want to use the Chinese term, all the qi stuff. The second is the fitness, which is in the Chinese term is like circulate your qi, your energy, all those things, which I just shared with you. The third type is the strengthening. So can you experience the strengthening? Sure, like the second type I told you already. You just do some slow walk, make sure that your heart rate is under 70% of your maximum heart rate, meaning maximum heart rate is 220 minus your age multiplied by 70, and your heart rate do not go exceed that when you do stretching, when you do walking and whatsoever. That's why you do it slowly when you want to practice qigong or whatever heck. That's just that, the fitness helping circulation, provided you got the recovery, charge up your battery. Okay, now The third one, the strengthening training. The strengthening training, the easiest way, and everybody really be able to experience it. That is for fighting. If you don't have this training, this third, forget about fighting. So how to experience it? The easiest experience it is go find some uphill road, uphill. Sprint on it. Okay? Sprint on it. That is the strengthening training. Okay? So the experience, the state of training for the strengthening is sprinting uphill. Okay? You're going to use that in a real fight. You have to have that type of strength, sprinting power, speed, momentum. Or else what are you fighting? Okay? However, this is the third type of training, the sprinting or the handling, the strengthening training for the fighting is not everybody's piece of cake. If you have heart disease, if you have high blood pressure, if you have kidney problem, if you have eyes problem like glaucoma or all kinds of eyes pressure thing, you must not do that training, the sprinting training or the strengthening training. Okay, you must not do that because this type of training is in terms of heart rate range, it is from 80% of your maximum heart rate to exceed 100% of your heart rate. That is where the strengthening, the sprinting all come. In fighting, it is that intense. Now, this thing is also known to cause problem. Sure, it build out your muscle endurance. It is in anaerobic endurance, all sort of stuff. But it is known to produce the free radical. And a lot of free radical can cause your health problem. It can actually deteriorate your health. It can so the people who have heart problem, kidney problem, cancer, they must be really careful on this strengthening training. Okay? But if you want to fight, you need to have this strengthening training. You need to have the endurance. When you go inside there, you are not going like gas. Of course, you're going inside, going there, boom, boom, boom. Like you look at it in the Western boxing match, in the UFC, in the Olympic. You need that thing. So this is the three type of training. If you want to make it at a martial art, you have to complete that three types of training. If you don't have that strengthening training, forget about fighting. You can fight. We just cannot talk about talking big. Oh, talk with your hand, not talk with your mouth. Playing expert. Oh, do you spar? Big deal. People is training that way with this three type of training. When after they train the strengthening training, they go into the recovery. If they get injured, they get medications, they go into the recovery. After the recovery, they feel better, they go up to the fitness training, and then they go back to the strengthening training. You want sparring? If you don't go through this, 500, 600 hours at least, how the hell are you going to do anything? Are you going to go chi sao, practice your sets, or slow chi, fa jing? You can get there. That's why when you face Xi Xiaodong, you get KO within minutes. It is a premeditative design. That is what martial art is. And it is like in today's sports science, you have your training, you have your recovery. You cannot overload your body. Or else, even at the high speed, you're going to make a lot of mistake because your body is tired or your body is not well trained enough. Even that, after years of this, if you do not have enough recovery and the fitness to circulate your energy, after 30, 40 years, like we know today, people who do like judo, all this stroke, groundwork style, have their back pain. The people who have to do the kick all have the knee, the ankle, all sort of problem in the joints. You get punched a lot, you will get problem with your head circulations. You push a lot, you got like even people practice those like sanjin and so forth a lot, you got heart issue. And somebody have a kidney issue. This is reality of martial arts. So now you know these three type of our body conditioning. We know who we are. We know who we are. Based on who we are, we know what we can do, what we cannot do. Instead of keeping talking, oh, talk with your hand, not talk with your mouth. But hey, what type of training have you done? Do you know all this training? How many hours have you go through? What is your endurance? What is your anaerobic endurance? What is your aerobic endurance? What is your VO2 max? How the hell are you going to do the same, the real deal, like a pro in the UFC or in Olympic? That is called reality. So let me summarize for you before the end. One is the fighting uniqueness, the way how you fight, the uniqueness. Wing Chun is Wing Chun. Wing Chun is not BJJ. Wing Chun is not Western boxing. Wing Chun is not Thai boxing. Wing Chun is not Kyokushin. Wing Chun fight this way. Doesn't mean that who is better. No, it's just a characteristic. It's like a snake is not a chicken. A chicken is not a bat. A bat is not a dog. A dog is not a cat. And you need this three to train, to support that. It's not that just send your student go out there doing some street fight and then you say, oh, I'm the number one. You look at like Olympic, like UFC, like BJJ, like Kyokushin. You look how people evolve with sports science, with yoga. Isn't it? All of them is within this three type of training 170 years ago already written in the 1850s Wing Chun document. And in fact, this is belong to the ancient Shaolin and military of Ming Dynasty.